Hello students, I am Dr. P.C. Cambodia, Associate Professor in the Department of English, BSR Government Arts College, Alwar, Rajasthan. This video is for the students of BA Part 2nd English Literature Paper 1st. The topic that we are going to take up today is Christabel Part 1st. It is a ballad. Ballad is a long narrative poem in which repetitions of the words are also there. It has been composed by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, who is an important pillar of the romantic type of poetry. Samuel Taylor Coleridge composed this ballad and he introduced supernatural elements in it. Supernaturalism or supernaturalism is what is beyond naturalism. Anything that cannot be explained within the premises of naturally occurring phenomena is supernatural. We try to understand what supernaturalism is with the help of a simple example. Say for example, I have a watch. I take that watch to a nearby well and throw it in, and then when I came to my house, I found that watch again over there. I took the watch and threw it into the same well, and again the same watch is there at my table. So there is some invisible force, invisible being who is taking that watch back from the well to my house. And who is that force? What type of the shape that force or being resembles to? Where do they come from? What are the possible shapes they can take? Are the questions to be dealt with the process of supernaturalism. Then this Christabel Part 1st, which is a ballad, has got the setting of the Middle Ages, in which the feudal lords are there. Then the land is there. That land is further divided to small pieces of land, and that is given to labor, and that labor cultivates agricultural products and then gives a part of their income to the feudal lord. And if any other feudal lord attacks the feudal lord who has given them the pieces of land, then all those farmers who work as a labor, they turn the service to the military, form various squads and fight the other feudal lord. Those feudal lords are living in castle, and the castle that we come across here in Christabel Part 1st is the castle of Sir Leoline. This castle has a tower. Clock is fitted to that tower, and just below that tower there is a rock, and under that rock a mastiff lives in a kennel. Kennel is a garret dug by the dog, and that dog is the female dog, and then the dog comes out and barks after an interval of 15 minutes. So in 1 hour, the female mastiff barks 4 times, and when the time period of 1 hour passes, then that mastiff barks 12 times more. In all, the mastiff barks 16 times within an hour. People say that the mastiff barks because she sees the shroud of Sir Leoline's wife, who is no more. She expired while delivering a baby, and the name of that baby was Christabel. And now she is an adult daughter of Sir Leoline. She lives in that castle. Once there was a hooting of an owl, and then hooting of that owl at untimely hour of midnight wakes up the other nocturnal birds. Then the cocks are there. They produce shrill sound of cocorico, and that becomes a disturbance for the other nocturnal birds. It happens because there is a spirit in the ballad. As we proceed further, we will come to know that the name of this spirit is Geraldine. Since the spirit Geraldine was there and the birds wanted to drive that spirit away, so they started hooting, and the spirit got a chance to enter into Christabel's room. Christabel was fast asleep. She was engaged to a knight, and Geraldine hypnotizes. Geraldine, being an evil spirit, causes a dream, and according to that dream, Christabel's fiancé was to fight a duel, and in that duel he was to meet a fatal wound. And in order to avoid that fatal wound, Christabel should wake up at that hour of the midnight, should go to a furlong distance into the forest and offer a prayer so that her fiancé could avoid the fatal wound in that combat. So she wakes up and goes over there according to that dream, which was falsely caused by the evil spirit Geraldine. The patrolling is there at that time by the guards. Soldiers are there all around. Christabel wakes up, tries to avoid those patrolling soldiers. She passes out of her room stealthily, goes out of the corridors, goes out of the main gate, and then crosses the moat, the ditch, and reaches the forest. It is chilling to the bones all around. The night is not dark because the moon is full. It is full moon day. The moonlight darts through the branches of the trees, and those branches of the trees are bare because the trees have shed their leaves. The stem and the branches are covered with mistletoe. Mistletoe is a kind of an aquatic plant. It is velvety to touch, and the moss of other kinds are also there, making the stems of the trees green in color and full of moisture. She passes that forest and comes in front of an old oak tree where she was to offer her prayer to avoid the mishap with her fiancé, who was a knight and who was to fight a duel. So she begins to offer prayers, but suddenly there is a groaning sound. She tries to look around. Who could be over there producing that groaning sound, but no one is there. Then she thinks that can air in motion that becomes wind produce such a noise? Then she concludes that the stream of air is not there, wind is not there, because the curls of her hair, which were hanging by the sides of her temples, just by the side of her cheeks, didn't move. She looked towards the sky and didn't realize any flow of wind. There was a leaf attached to the highest branch of a tree. It was the leaf of its own clan. Clan is a type. It was not fluttering. It was still and silent. All observations supported that there was no human being, or the air didn't produce that moaning sound. But suddenly she looked, a fairy damsel. She was dressed in silken attire. Her neck was lengthy and she was wearing the gown that was sleeveless. That lady appeared to be a lady from some other planet. And this lady was none else but the evil spirit Geraldine, who had taken the form of a human being in form of a damsel. Then costly stones in form of ruby, diamond, sapphire, they were all fitted to her hair. And the whiteness of her neck was so bright that the silken attire of white color appeared to be pale, and she was barefooted, unsandaled. Blue veins were there in her feet. Then Geraldine wanted to ask who she was. Then the fairy lady Geraldine told her that she had been brought over there by 5 warriors. They tied her to a palfrey. Palfrey is a horse meant for racing. She told Christabel that she was tied with the help of belts lengthwise on the full back of that palfrey, and then palfrey was galloping. Galloping means jumping in air and then running very fast. 5 warriors were chasing the horse on which she was tied, and those 5 warriors brought her over there, unfastened her and placed her just like a mass, and they talked in some language which she didn't understand, but later on she could understand that they told her that they would be back within no time and she should be taken away. Christabel told her that she lives quite near. Her father is of noble cadre and his name is Sir Leoline. He lives very close, and Geraldine would be taken in her custody, and she will keep her safe and make arrangements so that she reaches her house. And all those 5 warriors, if they turn up, then she is competent enough to chase them away with the help of war and chivalry that her father has in the nearby castle. So Geraldine is taken with Christabel towards the castle, and then they start moving. They reach the moat, the trench. Geraldine is told by Christabel that her father does not sleep soundly, and she should take care that she should place her foot lightly when they enter the castle. But when they were quite close to the metallic door, that was the front door, then suddenly Geraldine lost her strength, and we should know the reason why she lost her strength. The evil spirits, when they come in contact with fire or in contact with metal, they become strengthless. This is a myth. Of course, we have been hearing about this myth. So these myths are told by one generation to the other, and they are in this way continuing further and further. So when Geraldine, on coming in contact with the metallic gate, became strengthless, so she was lifted up by Christabel, and thereafter Christabel realized that she had her full strength, so both of them started walking towards their room, and in between the patrolling guards were there, soldiers were there. They stealthily got into their room and avoided the patrolling, and then she entered the room with Christabel, and Christabel and Geraldine had a plan of sleeping together. Then what was the purpose of Geraldine? How she wanted to sleep, in what conditions, and what was her future plan would be taken up in our next class. And this way we have covered around 100 lines of this Christabel part first, which is a ballad. Thank you so much.